edition of Revelation with Russ. I am your host, Donald Russell, also known as Russ. And knowing this morning, we have to talk about a peculiar group of people called angel investors. Yes, you got that right, angel investors. In the world of investing, an angel investor is an individual that is rich, an individual that is uber prosperous, an individual that some may even say that the network can start at $1 million, move up to 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, move up to 50 million, even north of 100 million. But what I like the most about the angel investor is that the angel investor is an individual that is willing to invest his or her own capital into a small startup company. But they don't just invest into the small startup company, but guess what? They also invest into the individuals. Now, what you have to know about the angel investor does not just operate from the forefront, but primarily from behind the scenes. Now, I know you may be saying this morning, what does the angel investor what does the angel in investing has in common? What's the correlation? But let's look at it this morning from the lens of the Word of God. The writer of Hebrews in the 13th chapter, 2nd verse, says it like this: be not forgetful of entertaining strangers. Watch this, because most of us have entertained angels and we wasn't even aware of it. So I want to ask you on this morning, how is it that you treat individuals? How is it that you treat the common man? Do you treat people a particular way with kindness and respect and generosity, and you're cordial with them based off of the clothes that they wear, based off of their apparel, because they wear the Gucci, the Prada, the Fendi, and whatever the designer is of the day? And do you look down on individuals because they just have on clothes that may come from Walmart or Target, and you look at them and you feel or believe like that person can't do nothing for you because you think that that person don't have the finances to be able to help you, to be able to sow into you, and you just treat the person any kind of way? But I want to encourage you on today that it doesn't matter what position you find yourself in. It doesn't matter if it's on your job, if it's at school, if it's at a college, if it's at a hospital, if it's at a church. No matter where you are, you should treat everyone with respect and with hospitality. Now, I want you to ponder that thought, but I want to transition into this. One of my favorite shows that's aired on TV. Oh my God, I don't know who is the producer of this TV show, but my favorite TV show right now that I'm extremely obsessed with is The Undercover Boss. Yes, The Undercover Boss. I love this show because this show is about a CEO and his and her employees. So what the CEO would do, the CEO will get in disguise, will be incognito, and the CEO would actually go to his own business, but he will be acting and portraying himself as an employee. So the CEO will go, and he don't really know nothing about the day-to-day operations. He's just the higher up. So he comes down and he's working, and sometimes let's say it's at a fast food. So they're flipping burgers and they're pulling fries and at the drink machine and at the ice cream machine. So what he would do is he would just be trying to find out how's the business working, how's people treating their customers. So let's say you have employee number one, employee number two, and let's say we have a manager. So employee number one is dealing with the CEO / employee, and he's trying to figure out what to do, and he may not be flipping the burgers right. He may not be putting the right condiments on there. So the employee number one just gets irate with him. Oh man, you slow. Oh, you need to hurry up. Oh, we have a process that we do this. We have a system, and you just taking too long. And he just said, listen, man, I'm trying to do the best that I can. Today is my first day, but I'm gonna get it. And he said, no, man, you're never going to get this. They just need to put you in another department. Now the CEO / employee is documenting all this. So let's switch over to the manager. The manager is kind of in between. The manager can have good days. The manager can have bad days. Sometimes she's up, sometimes she's down. So the CEO is kind of looking at this, that sometimes she can come in with a pleasant attitude, but then he can see that she can also snap on the customers. So the CEO / employee is documenting all of this. But the second person comes in every day, nice attitude. She's pleasant. She's polite to everybody, to the co-workers. Everybody love her. Even the customers love her, know her by name. And I'm telling you, she's just come in bright eye and bushy tail. And guess what? The CEO actually has a relationship with her. Begin to find out about her family. Begin to find out that she has a child. Begin to find out her trials, her tests, her tribulations. And guess what? The CEO actually likes her, but guess what? He can't blow his cover. So what happens is the show actually transitions. It transitions to where everybody is invited, guess what, to the main headquarters. They don't know why they're there, but guess what? Out of the blue, in comes the CEO. Not in disguise, but guess what? He's suited and booted. He's in a tie. Guess what? He's in the Brooks Brothers suit. He have the nice shoes on, the patent leather shoes on. The boy is clean. But guess what? They don't even recognize him because they remember the employee, but they don't think that this is the employee, not the CEO of the company. So guess what? The CEO comes in, sit there, looking real dapper, very professional, and he says, listen, I know you don't know who I am, but you remember Johnny? And they're like, oh, I don't remember Johnny. Who is Johnny? And he was like, yeah, I remember Johnny. That guy wasn't a good worker. He says, I'm Johnny. Oh my God, I'm about to lose my mind. He says, I'm Johnny. He says, I'm the one that you was disrespectful to, the one that you didn't have no patience for, the one that you was not long suffering. He says, and listen, how long that you've been working at this business? He said, well, I've been at the job for about 2 months. He was like, for 2 months, you know the ins and out of the business. But he says, your conduct is not what we can tolerate here. So he says, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to have to let you go. I'm like, what? Let him go? I mean, the tension is so crazy. I'm like, let him go. Give him another chance. I'm just speaking from the outside. But he says, I have to let you go. And guess what? He let him go. So now let's transition to the manager. Manager walks in and the manager said, hey, you look real familiar. I seen you before. He was like, yeah, I'm Johnny. I was the person. She's like, oh my God, you was Johnny. This and that. So he said, listen, I observed your conduct. I observed how you treated people. Some days you had hospitality. Some days you were respectful. But some days you used profanity. Some days you were disrespectful. So he says, even though you're at a managerial position, he says, it's only right that I demote you. I have to demote you. He says, I cannot let you be in that position and have this trickling down to the employees. So guess what? He demoted her. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is a tyrant. So guess what? Thirdly, he comes the individual that was always polite, always showed hospitality, always helped the customers, gained a relationship with her. So the CEO comes to her. He says, listen, when I was there, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. It is an honor and a privilege to work with you. The way that you just honor the company, the way that you represent the company. He says, you're what we need. He says, but I tell you, it's something I want to do for you. He says, I know you said that your child, has tuition issues and it's hard for you to pay because you don't make enough. He said, I tell you what I want to do. Whatever she owed, I'm going to just pay the balance off. I'm like, what? You're going to pay the balance off? So he says, I'm going to pay the balance off. So the lady, she's crying. Keep it between me and you. I'm crying. I'm like, what? You going to pay the balance off? Oh my God, that's just a blessing. He just blessed her out of the blue. He says, but listen, you also told me that you don't have a car. And he says that you walk 6 blocks just to get to the bus stop. And once you get to the bus stop, it takes you an hour to get here. He said, but guess what? Today, that ceased. I just purchased you a 2022 Toyota Corolla. She's crying. I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Whoever knew that just being kind, that's just being loving, that's just being respectful to a person. He says, but that's not all. He says, I know you said you work 6 hours a day, 12 days a week. He says 72 hours, that's a long time. You only have 1 day with your child. He says, we about to change that. He says, listen, he said, you have a 2-week paid vacation to go to Hawaii with you and your daughter, and it's all on me. Oh my God, I just lost it. He says, but last but not least, you've been in this position for 6 months. He said, you know all the ropes. He said, last but not least, you're not just getting a raise, but you're getting a promotion to the manager position. Oh my God, I'm about to lose it. I'm just about to lose it. So I said, wow, isn't this something about angel investors? The way that you treat people. My mother used to tell me this. She said, son, your attitude determines your altitude. And so many times we try to force our way in position. We try to get to new levels and new heights because we think it's going to be on our intellect. We think it's going to be on our education, our diplomas, our certification, our degrees. But what if God was just saying on this morning, the only thing you have to do is be kind. God says, I will open the door. I will send an angel in the form of a person because angels are spirit beings but they have the ability, guess what, to transform themselves into a human body. So I want to ask you on today, when the last time you seen an angel? Because you may just be entertaining an angel, and the person who you're respecting can be the person who can put you in a position. But guess what? At the same time, the person that you're disrespecting can also demote you. That is the word of the Lord on this morning. This has been Revelation with Russ. If you like content like this, will you please consider smashing that like button on this morning? And also, please share this video with a friend, with an angel investor. Share it. That's the only way that we're going to grow.